God. Ugh, my sweater's trying to kill me.
Hydrate.
Today on the Edgy Veg, I'm going to show you how to make a vegan shepherd's pie. You can make it for a shepherd in your family. You can have it for St. Patrick's Day. Subscriber of the week this week is Michelle K. She loved the Instant Pot recipes, so if you guys want more of those, leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you want to be a subscriber of the week next week, make sure that I see you. Leave me a comment, like my videos, and follow me on social media. The links are all in the description box below. I went on my Instagram last week and I asked you guys what kind of St. Patrick's Day themed recipe you guys wanted, and it was either Irish stew or shepherd's pie, and you guys voted for shepherd's pie, so that's what we're making. And it's actually a really simple recipe. It uses a lot of ingredients, but they're all ingredients you probably already have at home, and the method is super simple. The first thing we are going to do is preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to start off with our filling, which is going to be a delicious seasoned ground round, which is one of my favorite meat substitutes to use for ground beef, and then a bunch of veggies. In a skillet, we are going to heat up 2 tablespoons of coconut oil or olive oil. Then we are going to saute 4 cloves of garlic and 1 chopped onion. Now you want to cook this for about 3 to 5 minutes until it's soft and translucent and you really get to smell the aroma of the garlic and onion. Then we are going to add 1.5 cups of chopped mushrooms and then cook them for about 5 minutes until they become kind of soft and brown. Now we are going to add 1.5 pounds of veggie ground round. It comes out to about 3 cups. And with that, we are going to add 1 cup water, 1/3 of a cup of red wine, half a can of tomato paste, and 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. If you cannot find vegan Worcestershire in your local health food store or supermarket, you can use ketchup instead. I know, it's weird, but trust me, in a pinch, it works just as well. Well, not just as well, but it'll do the job. Then add 2 teaspoons of vegetable or no beef bouillon powder and 1 bay leaf and some ground pepper. And then to that, because we don't have enough ingredients in there already, add about 1 tablespoon of fresh rosemary pulled off of the twig. No, pulled off the sprig, not twig. It's not a twig, it's a sprig. Mix that all together and then let that simmer for about 15 minutes on low. While our filling is simmering, we are going to cook up some potatoes. So I'm using 1.5 pounds of potatoes. It's about 1.5 large potatoes, which I've peeled and chopped up, and we're just going to cook that in some salted water for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we are just going to drain the potatoes and add them back to the pot. Here's the fun part, we get to mash these potatoes. You really get to take out some frustration, but we're not just going to mash them on their own. Oh no, no, no. This is a fun vegan cooking show. We are first going to add 1/4 cup of almond milk, 3 tablespoons of vegan butter, and then 1 teaspoon of nutritional yeast. And then we're gonna mash, 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 mash until they're smooth, no clumps. Once your potatoes are well mashed, or as my German mother calls them, smashed, we are going to just cover them and set them aside so we can go back and work on our filling. After 15 minutes, taste your vegan meat and see if it needs a little bit of salt and pepper, season to taste, and then we are going to add 2 diced carrots, 1/2 cup of frozen corn, and 1/2 cup of frozen peas. Mix that all together, and then we are going to cook that for another 10 to 15 minutes until those carrots are nice and soft. Make sure that you're stirring that constantly, and if your meat starts to dry out a little bit, add a little bit of water, about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons at a time. You want this mixture to be moist, but you do not want it wet and soggy, and you don't want it to be dry. Now that all of our components for a shepherd's pie are done, we actually have to put this thing together. So I'm using a 7 by 11 inch casserole dish. You can use one a little bit smaller, but I wouldn't suggest going any larger than that because then you're gonna have a really thin, kind of sad, skinny pie. And when I think of pie, I do not think of skinny pies. I want them to be robust and thick and full of sugar, but not this one because it's savory. I'm just gonna keep rambling and hopefully something normal comes out. All right, back to the assembly. Then we are going to top it with our potato mash. What I like to do is throw it in there, smooth it out so it's nice and beautiful and pristine and straight along the top. And then I'm gonna take a fork and scratch the crap out of it. You really want to make like a rough top to this because those are the bits and pieces, the ones really near the top and the crevices that are gonna get nice and toasty and crispy. And that is the key to a delicious and crispy layer of a shepherd's pie. Which is the best part of the shepherd's pie because the potato on the top starts to kind of smell and taste like French fries. So take your fork and just, you can draw designs, just go back and forth, go to town, write your name. Write your lover's name, your dog's name, then throw your casserole dish onto a baking sheet and throw that guy into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes, or until the top layer of potatoes is nice and browned. Once your shepherd's pie is golden brown, we are going to take that guy out of the oven and let it sit on a cooling rack for 15 minutes before serving. This really gives it a chance to not solidify, but like just settle into the shape of it, and that way when you cut it and serve it, you can actually cut it into nice square or round pieces as opposed to just falling over. You can just serve this guy as it is, or garnish it with a little bit of parsley or extra rosemary, and then just serve it up on its own or with a side of gravy. Or somebody told me on Instagram that you also traditionally serve it with a side of baked beans, which sounds really good. Alright guys, there you have it, vegan shepherd's pie. The chunk that we've removed here is for aesthetic purposes. I'm just kidding, it was so good. We ate it right away, we couldn't wait. It is so good. I suggest getting your serving spoon and eating this whole thing to yourself. Oh my god. Why make it with meat when it's this good without meat? I hope you really like this recipe. I hope you guys liked this recipe. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you do make this at home, take a photo, tag me on Instagram. The links are in the description box below. All right, I want to know what you guys are doing for St. Patrick's Day. Are you going out to drink? Are you staying in to drink? Literally me, that's what I'll be doing. Or do you just not celebrate this because who cares? I don't know. Either way, I want to hear from you. And if you are staying in, you can make my Guinness and Bailey's cupcakes. I'll leave the recipe right there and right there. And if you haven't already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next week. Bye!